Are you an international student that can't attend open days? Are you getting overwhelmed with all the different choices of medical schools that you have? Are you confused about where you want to spend the next 5 to 6 years of your life? Well, don't worry, because we here at the Aspiring Medics have created a perfect universities comparison tool for you, so you can pick your top 4 universities to apply to for medical school and get all 4 of those offers. Hi, I'm Arisma, an international medical student at King's and in-house Notion expert, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can use Notion and our universities comparison tool to help you decide which medical schools you should be applying to maximize your chances of getting all 4 offers. So let's get into it. So finally, here is our universities comparison table. First off, we have every single medical school in the UK listed in this table. So no matter where you want to go, we have all the information you need about that school. We then have a location column. So do you want to live in a city or a town? How far away from home do you want to go? All of these factors are essential to consider while deciding what medical school you want to go to. Next, arguably the most important factor to consider while deciding what medical school to go to is teaching style. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out our video covering all 3 teaching styles. So that's traditional, integrated, and case-based or problem-based learning. Next, we move into our academia section. Firstly, what UCAS score does this university require? Do they have a cutoff, and what score type do they accept? Low, medium, or high? And if you haven't already, make sure to check out our video outlining which schools you should apply to depending on your UCAS score type. We then also have a column looking at the situational judgment section, BMAT, if it's required or not, and if there are any cutoffs. We then move to GCSE grades, so what subjects are they looking for? What scores are they looking for? Next, how are your GCSE scores used? Are they used in the shortlisting process? Are they used to choose between borderline candidates? And then we move on to A-levels. What are their grade requirements and subject requirements? Our next column is especially useful for international and EU students like myself. One of the biggest factors to consider for students like us is the tuition fee. And so we have a table covering annual tuition fee for every single university, so you can choose a university that is affordable for you. Our next section is competition ratios. So how many places does this medical school have every year? And then we're looking at the ratio of the number of applicants per place. So for example, 11.5 would mean that for every 11.5 applications, one person gets a place in this medical school. We then also have the ratio of the number of applicants per interview. So for this school, for every 2.3 applicants, one of them got an interview. And we don't just have this for home students. We have 2 entire columns dedicated to international students who are often ignored or forgotten in other such tools. And last but not the least, we even have statistics on how satisfied students are with that university, looking at teaching, course, feedback, and their general student satisfaction, which are key factors to consider because you want to know how happy students are at that university, especially if you are going to be spending the next 5 or 6 years of your life there. And then finally, we also look at the average cost of living per year for each student. This is definitely something to consider, looking at how much student loan you get or how much money your parents can afford to give you, and accordingly applying to a university that matches your budget. We end with a link to the university's website and a general approximate chance of you getting into that university based on all of the factors that we've spoken about in this table. As a bonus, for select universities, we've spoken to students at that medical school, asking them about what life at that med school is like. So we've asked them for specific tips on applying to that medical school, what university and social life is like there, as well as interview dates and specific questions that pop up every year in that school's interview. So to show you how a university's comparison tool works and to familiarize you with some of its interactive features, we've come up with 3 case studies to show you how students in your situation may be using this tool. So first up, we have George. George is a home student who has scored a 2,475 in his UCAT, which is considered a low UCAT score. He doesn't have any particular preference for where he wants to go to university. However, he is predicted an AAA for chemistry, biology, and maths. So as you can see, George can apply to these 5 universities and he has a good chance of getting in. So he can decide his top 4 based on other factors including the situational judgment cutoff, average cost of living, and teaching styles. Next up, we have Lucy, who is also a home student, and she scored a 2,600 in her UCAT exam. She preferably wants to live in a city, and she's watched our teaching styles videos, so she's realized that she actually prefers the CBL or PBL teaching styles. And our last case is actually what happened with me. So our last character is Arisma. She is an international student who scored a 3080 in her UCAT, which is a high UCAT score, and she wants to study in London, and she also wants to rank universities by their tuition fee, lowest to highest, and wants to cap the yearly tuition fee at £45,000. So that brings us to the end of the video. Don't worry, if Notion isn't your thing and you can't quite wrap your head around it, we also have this exact same table on Excel. It's color-coded and has all of the same features, so you won't be missing out on anything. Don't forget to check out the link in the description box below, which gives you access to both our Notion Universities comparison tool as well as our Excel Universities comparison tool. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.